Former slot technicians just broke their silence and were counting down the 9 most rigged slot machines you should never play. From seemingly ordinary games hiding near impossible odds to jackpots so rare, millions have been lost without a single payout. This ranking exposes the worst offenders draining bankrolls with deceptive programming. These machines are engineered to entice, with technical tricks casinos don't want you to know. Which one has documented over $2 million in losses at a single location? Let's reveal the truth, starting with number 9. Mega Fortune Dreams looks like a dream come true, with a glowing 3-tier bonus wheel and an advertised return to player of 96.4%. But the real story hides in the math. The actual odds of hitting the top jackpot are worse than 1 in 2.7 billion spins. Most of the return to player comes from small wins. Less than 0.1% is devoted to the jackpot itself. Marcus, a regular from Atlantic City, tracked his own play for over a year, logging $89,000 wagered in 12 bonus rounds. Every time, the wheel stopped one position before the jackpot. The system uses weighted probabilities, making the jackpot little more than a mirage. Buffalo Grand draws crowds with its hold and spin feature, but the math behind it is brutal. The machine starts by letting players fill positions at decent odds, but once 15 spots are locked in, the chance of landing the final 3 symbols plunges to 1 in 2,400 per spin. Jennifer, a cocktail waitress, watched a player spend 6 hours and over $12,000 trying to fill the last spot, always just missing. Security footage later showed the needed symbol flashing 47 times on inactive reels. The secret is the phantom reel system, where what you see isn't what's actually programmed, making the chase for the jackpot an expensive illusion. Lightning Link High Stakes draws players in with its multi-denomination promise, but the real catch is buried in the numbers. Casinos advertise that higher bets unlock better odds, yet the actual odds of hitting the grand jackpot are worse than 1 in 860 million spins, no matter how much you wager. The only thing that rises with the denomination is the size of your losses. Internal revenue reports, released through FOIA requests, show a single bank of these machines pulled in $2.3 million in profit over 18 months without a single grand jackpot payout. Corporate emails from that period describe this as the perfect profit ratio. Frank, a former technician from Vegas, lost his job after warning a high roller about the impossible odds. Data from multiple states places Lightning Link High Stakes consistently among the top 3 machines for revenue per square foot. The grand prize is always just out of reach, and the house keeps every dollar that never makes it to a winner. Wheel of Fortune Triple Extreme Spin looks familiar and safe, but the numbers tell a different story. The published return to player sits at just 92.1%. Making it one of the lowest among major branded slots. To even get a shot at the top jackpot, players need to land the bonus, then trigger spin again, twice across 3 separate wheels. The odds of hitting that final jackpot, 1 in 6.2 million spins. Complaints poured in from players who noticed how rarely the big wins hit, but the real controversy started inside the lab. Some technicians like David say demo versions of the game, used for testing and display, showed a much higher win rate than the real thing. Once the machines hit casino floors, the odds tightened up, leaving players chasing jackpots that never seemed to land. 3 states, Oklahoma, Connecticut, and Mississippi, refused to certify the machine for use in their casinos after engineers flagged concerns about the math behind the bonus rounds. Yet the game remains legal in Nevada and over 40 other jurisdictions, where the familiar Wheel of Fortune logo keeps drawing in hopeful players. For every spin, the house edge stays hidden behind the brand, and the odds are stacked far beyond what most players realize. Dragon Link Panda Magic promises excitement with its sprawling 50-spot hold and spin bonus, but the reality is far less generous. The early rounds tease players with frequent symbol drops, making progress seem easy. But as the bonus fills up, the machine quietly changes the rules. Once 40 spots are locked in, The odds of landing a new symbol drop by a factor of 12. Suddenly, every spin feels like a struggle, and near misses pile up on the screen. This isn't just bad luck, it's the decay algorithm at work, designed to keep players chasing those last elusive symbols. Dorothy from Illinois learned this lesson the hard way. She spent 8 hours glued to her seat, filling 47 out of 50 positions, and pouring in over $16,000. Casino hosts circled, offering free drinks and comped meals, encouraging her to keep going. With each spin, the machine dangled hope, but the final 3 symbols never came. After 300 spins in the bonus state, the machine did something Dorothy didn't expect. It reset the entire bonus, wiping out her progress. The timeout wasn't mentioned anywhere on the pay table or game rules. Dorothy's marathon ended with empty hands and a vanished bonus, leaving her to wonder if the game was ever meant to pay out at all. For players, the real harm isn't just in the money lost, but in the slow, grinding chase engineered by the machine's programming. The longer the pursuit, the harder it becomes to walk away, and the more invisible the trap feels. Monopoly Millionaire stands out not just for its 3D bonus wheel and Hasbro branding, but for the legal storm that followed a single high-stakes spin. In 2019, a player triggered the $1 million bonus, only to watch the wheel slow unnaturally and stop just short of the jackpot. The moment was caught on slow-motion video, capturing the wheel's abrupt deceleration as it neared the top prize. The footage became the centerpiece of a lawsuit that named both the casino and the machine's manufacturer, with the player's legal team bringing in engineering professors to analyze the mechanics. Their testimony pointed to the possibility of electromagnets beneath the wheel, capable of influencing where it stopped. The defense argued equipment malfunction, citing the industry's standard fine print. Malfunction voids all pays. That single clause allowed the casino to deny the $1.2 million payout, despite the machine's apparent normal operation. The case never reached a public verdict. Instead, it ended in a confidential settlement, sealed by a non-disclosure agreement. Court filings reference at least 6 other incidents with similar complaints, but none made it to trial. Former technicians have quietly alleged that the wheel's outcome is determined in software before the spin ever starts, with the physical spin serving as little more than theater. Some insiders insist the wheel's deceleration is programmed to look random, but can be subtly manipulated to avoid jackpot sectors. Casino operators continue to rely on the malfunction voids all pays disclaimer, protecting themselves from legal exposure even when the evidence seems damning. With an RTP of 94.5% and a bonus system that's both visually impressive and legally bulletproof, Monopoly Millionaire's $1 million promise remains just out of reach for most players. The combination of high-profile branding, mechanical spectacle, and legal maneuvering has made this machine a lightning rod for controversy, raising questions about how much control casinos really have over the games they offer. 88 Fortunes sits in the top 3 for a reason, and it isn't just the gold coins or flashing lights. The real hook is the must-hit by progressive jackpot system, which sounds like a safety net, but is anything but. The machine advertises a 96% return to player, but the volatility is off the charts, especially for the grand jackpot. Casino insiders know that 90% of grand payouts happen in the final 2% of the jackpot range. That means the closer the displayed total creeps toward the $50,000 ceiling, the more players swarm, convinced a life-changing win is just around the corner. But the math tells another story. The vast majority of those jackpots land between $49,400 and $49,995 after thousands of extra spins and tens of thousands of dollars wagered. Former slot directors have shared internal documents instructing casino staff to start heavily promoting 88 Fortunes when the grand approaches 85% of its must-hit threshold. That's when the hype ramps up. Floor staff direct players to the bank, digital signage flashes, and sometimes even hosts nudge regulars with free play offers. The timing isn't random. By the time the jackpot is near, the odds of hitting it on any given spin remain slim, but the sense of urgency keeps players glued to their seats. Server-based control takes this even further. In certain jurisdictions, casinos can remotely adjust the must-hit by thresholds or bonus triggers without ever alerting the player. Contracts with slot vendors sometimes include language allowing real-time tweaks from a back-office terminal. No technician needed on the floor. This gives casinos the power to fine-tune how long a jackpot lingers just out of reach, all while players believe they're closing in. One story stands out. A player spent $8,200 over a single weekend, watching the grand climb from $49,100 to $49,847. The jackpot finally hit, but not for her. It went to someone who sat down moments after she walked away. The machine's server log, if anyone could see it, would show the grand was programmed to hit somewhere in that final sliver, no matter who was playing. For most, the chase ends in frustration and empty pockets, while the casino system quietly resets for the next round. With 88 fortunes, the illusion of a guaranteed win is just another part of the design, engineered to keep hope alive until the very last dollar is spent. Quick Hit Platinum is a staple on casino floors, a 9-reel blazing fast slot with a name that promises instant riches. But beneath the flashing lights and catchy branding, the real story is buried in the numbers. The machine advertises a return to player of 94.06%, but the jackpot odds are engineered to be nearly unreachable, and it took a team of determined students to prove it. A group of college math majors from Reno set out to answer a simple question. How rare is the jackpot really? They spent weeks in the casino, photographing every spin, tracking outcomes across 47,000 plays. Their method was meticulous. Each reel position logged, every quick hit symbol counted. The results turned the casino's claims upside down. What they found was a hidden disparity between the first 6 reels and the last 3. On reels 1 through 6, the quick hit symbol appeared about once every 35 spins, matching the probabilities most players would expect. But on reels 7, 8, and 9, the odds dropped off a cliff. Those symbols showed up only once every 280 spins. The math is brutal. To land all 9 quick hit symbols for the top payout, a player faces odds of 1 in 52 million. That's about 340 times worse than the pay table implies. This isn't just bad luck. The machine uses a virtual reel mapping system where the visible reels have nothing to do with the true odds programmed into the game. The display is theater. The real action happens in the software, where the jackpot outcome is buried under layers of weighted probabilities. The students' findings were published online, sparking heated debate in gambling forums and catching the attention of the casino itself. Instead of congratulating the team for their statistical work, casino management accused them of advantage play simply for tracking results. Security escorted them out and banned them from the property. The Nevada Gaming Control Board was notified. When regulators reviewed the case, they ruled that the programming fell within acceptable parameters, even though the actual odds were never disclosed to players. The field study became a cautionary tale about transparency in the gaming industry. Quick Hit Platinum's ranking as the second worst machine isn't about a single unlucky session or a bad streak. It's about mathematically verified misrepresentation hidden behind layers of virtual reels and fine print. For every player drawn in by the promise of a life-changing win, the reality is a jackpot engineered to be all but impossible. The evidence is there if you know where to look, and if you're willing to do the math that the casino hopes you never will. Wheel of Fortune Triple Red Hot 7 stands at the top of the list, not for excitement, but for how deeply it combines impossible odds, ruthless math, and targeted exploitation. The surface is classic. 3 spinning reels, a big red logo, and a promise of life-changing jackpots. But behind that familiar face, the numbers tell a darker story. This machine's return to player can drop as low as 88.2%, the worst among commercial floor slots. The top jackpot isn't just rare, it's as close to mathematically unreachable as a legal game can get. To win, A player first needs to land the bonus, which itself is a long shot at 1 in 216. Then comes a gauntlet. The first wheel must land on spin again, 1 in 48. Then the second wheel repeats the feat, 1 in 64. And finally, the third wheel must hit the jackpot, 1 in 96. Multiply those together, and the odds come out to 1 in 6.4 billion. At $3 per spin, a player chasing the jackpot would statistically need to spend over $19 billion before hitting it once. For casinos, the math is pure profit. Internal records from a Las Vegas property show a 5-machine bank of triple red hot 7s generating $8.7 million over 3 years, without a single top-tier jackpot paid. The house edge isn't just theoretical. It's built into every spin, stacking the deck so high that even the luckiest player doesn't stand a real chance. But the story goes further than numbers. Former executive Robert, who spent years overseeing slot operations, describes the moment he read an internal memo labeling elderly players as low information, high frequency. The machines were strategically placed at entrances and along walkways leading to bus drop-offs, where retirees and fixed income visitors would pass by first. The brand recognition was no accident. Older players trusted the Wheel of Fortune name, and casinos counted on that trust to keep them coming back. Roberts says it was this explicit targeting, combined with the knowledge of just how impossible the jackpot was, that pushed him to leak the documents. He left the industry, blacklisted for speaking out, but insists the public deserve to know who these machines were really designed for. Everything about triple red hot 7s is engineered for maximum extraction. The odds are buried in multi-stage triggers, the pay table hides the true cost, and the placement is calculated to catch those least likely to question the system. The result is a slot that doesn't just take money, it does so by design, with the full knowledge and intention of those who built it. For players, the hope of a jackpot is dangled just out of reach, but for the casino, the outcome is certain. No other machine on the floor carries the same combination of impossible odds, relentless targeting, and profit. That's why it ranks number 1, for all the wrong reasons. From the seemingly fair odds of Mega Fortune Dreams to the staggering 1 in 6.4 billion chance on Wheel of Fortune triple red hot 7s, this expose has tracked 9 slot machines where jackpots are more illusion than reality. Across all entries, former technicians revealed a consistent pattern: deceptive programming, hidden odds drops, and aggressive placement targeting vulnerable players. Whether through weighted wheels, phantom reels, server-controlled jackpots, or outright demographic targeting, each machine relied on features engineered to maximize losses while dangling near misses and false hope. What made these slots qualify was not just astronomical odds, but systematic manipulation, often backed by internal memos and legal loopholes like malfunction voids all pays. The most shocking revelations came from machines praised for their brand or progressive jackpots, yet designed to ensure years of play without a single major payout. Ultimately, these 9 machines expose a broader truth. While all slots favor the house, some are so rigged that even insiders refuse to play. Knowing these patterns arms players with the facts, because in this industry, informed awareness is the only real jackpot.